Hello, everyone. Welcome to Game Junk Prototype Episode 21, recording on Friday, July 17th, 2020. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name's Andrew.
And we have to be fair here. We did our top 5 most anticipated announcements, games, whatever you want to talk about for the PlayStation Future of Gaming video a few weeks back. And we have to afford the same double dip to Microsoft, who's having a big video next Thursday, the 23rd, announcing what is presumed to be mostly first-party stuff. So we're going to talk about our top 5 most anticipated announcements for that. And gotta say, mine wasn't that exciting. Too quick here, but
it was definitely a lot harder.
We're going to be juicing this one. It's going to be a lot of juice.
As I was doing research, I was looking at one of the articles had a brief synopsis or mentioned some titles from the previous Xbox video. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I don't remember any of those games. Like if I really tried to, but nothing was like, man, I can't wait to play that. The PlayStation one, remember pretty much everything. It's amazing. PlayStation, you've won. It's over. Good.
I mean, Microsoft just doesn't have a lot of first-party titles, right?
No.
And
they're working on it.
Yeah. But they have an extremely confusing collection of systems with different names that just make people want to buy them.
Yep.
The biggest draw is Game Pass. It's amazing. So,
yeah, I guess we should maybe just quickly mention they did announce this week that xCloud, Project xCloud, their streaming service, is going to be integrated with Game Pass Ultimate starting, is it next month? I think so.
I missed that. Is it on iOS?
September. I think it said September.
Oh, September, maybe, yeah. I assume for that it will be. They just had like a brief beta for it or something, but I guess we'll find out.
I'm fully immersed in the Apple ecosystem. Not going anywhere. All right. Well, let's stop fucking around. Let's do our top 5s. What do you think? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Oh, we can jump into the top 5s. I'm sure some discussions will come out of it.
Oh, you better believe it. Okay. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
I can kick it off. So I will say I didn't put... There's a couple obvious things that I just didn't put on the list because they're maybe too obvious, but...
I could only think of obvious things.
Trying to go outside the box here, so some of these are definitely not going to happen at all. But number 5, I don't know if you guys remember this. I think the last version of this game was the launch title for Xbox One, or came out within the launch window. I want to see...
It's not obvious. It better be Cameo.
That's a good one. I want to see Peggle 3 on Xbox Series X, baby.
Pushing that hardware.
I stayed away from third-party stuff for this because, like, we don't know. I'm fine with you including it. Don't get me wrong, but I love Peggle. While I was waiting for Ghost of Tsushima, I was dipping back into Round Guard and trying to platinum that. So I love Peggle. Give it to me. Good one, Sean.
I'm looking forward to some fully ray traced Peggle. Should be good.
Absolutely.
My number 5 is Everwild by Rare, which is the first game. They actually announced this in my research. I found out. Also, did not remember it. They had announced it in like 2019 at some other, maybe last E3, and it kind of looks a little bit like a stylized Zelda type Breath of the Wild type thing. I don't know.
Now I forgot about it. It does look pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, the teaser trailer didn't really reveal much other than it's got a lot of creatures and stuff in it. But Rare, I don't think has put out a game in a long time. So it'll kind of be nice to see them back in the game, so to speak. And that's my number 5.
Right? 2 years?
What they put out 2 years
ago.
Oh, right.
Never ending content ocean.
Yes.
Sea of Thieves, which plays like a piece of shit. Okay, I mean, it's a bit of a statement here, but mine is also pretty loaded with rare stuff. So my number 5 is Perfect Dark. I know there's been, I don't think Rare is actually developing it. That's the rumor, that they're just using the property and giving it to someone else. I don't know if that's true or not. I think I read that somewhere. But talk of it just being a remake of the original, which I would be perfectly fine with. I'm not even the hugest Perfect Dark fan, but the original was quite good, and I would like to see. I love not like the HD remakes, but the completely redone art remakes. They are the greatest for classic games. So I hope that's coming.
So you're specifically, you want the original remade?
I mean, I don't care. I'd like to see a new Perfect Dark game, but that's what I would be more excited for sure.
Okay. My number 4 is this one actually sounds like it's a pretty sure thing that it's going to be announced there, but don't know all the details. A new Fable game. I'm pretty curious to see what that could be. Not that I was like a huge fan of the other games, but I dabbled in them and liked them enough that, you give me a new version of that with some cool new bells and whistles, I'd be pretty interested.
I love Fable. Well, at least Fable 2 and 3. I played a ton of both of those games, and I don't know. Fable Legends left a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't think it's Lionhead. Like, does Lionhead even exist anymore?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so don't have the highest expectations for it. I would be happy to change my mind. So if it looks like a classic Fable game, I'm in.
I also like the Fable series, and this is on my list, but not at number 4, actually. My number 4 is a Ninja Theory game, not whatever Hellblade 2 is called, but it's their other title they announced, Project Mara. Do you guys remember this one at all? It's supposed to be like it's like an analysis of, it almost looks like some sort of schizophrenia or something like that, and they're apparently interviewing people who, they didn't explicitly say schizophrenia, but they said basically like they're interviewing psychologists and real life sufferers or something. They said
Hellblade 2?
I think so. They did some sort of like mental illness type thing for Hellblade. So I don't know. It looked really interesting. It looked, from the teaser, it was like really ray traced and looked really incredible. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh yeah. You give me ray trace Peggle, game of the year.
I gotta say, Microsoft, not a good sign. Every game Huck's mentioning, have to look up everyone. Not leave a lasting impression at all. Not a good sign. My number 4, and this I figured would be out by now. And you know what? I'm gonna do a tie here. No, I'll change my other one. Battletoads has been MIA for a while, and
I about that one.
I mean, I bought a T-shirt. The worst thing I can do is buy a T-shirt or a poster for something that I haven't seen or played yet, because it's the ultimate curse. It's never as good as I hope it will be.
Yeah, that one's been quiet for so long now that it's got to be that they're waiting for the next gen, right? Like,
I mean, we all said we were not fans of the art style at all, so they might have
retooled the whole thing,
or a little Sonic maneuver reacting to the fans. I don't know if that was a general consensus, but I thought it was pretty weak.
Okay. My number 3 was Frank's number 5, Perfect Dark. I mean, I'm a
Spy Guy though, right? Spy Guy Dwyer?
I am. I will say Perfect Dark 0 was just okay. I didn't think it was like amazing or anything, but
did you play it for more than 40 minutes?
Played it for, probably got like halfway or something.
Okay, that's
just, it seemed like
first level and I was not digging it.
Yeah, it seemed like just kind of generic first-person shooter. It didn't. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot you could do with that franchise, and it's been long enough that I think people would be excited to hear about it. I did look up some stuff, and it seemed like there was a third game in the works, but it got canceled at some point. So I don't know what happened to that, but yeah, it's time.
My number 3 is Fable, the new Fable game, whatever that'll be. I also don't really have super high hopes for this because Molyneux is not involved, or obviously he would not be involved. So who knows? You know, a lot of those games were really built on hype and like all this stuff happening. And I don't know if you don't have a really, you know, strong creative head, if that sort of stuff would come through in a new game. I never played Fable Legends, so I don't know why it fell so flat, but I don't know. Could be interesting to see a revitalization of the series.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna change my number 3 to Killer Instinct, a new Killer Instinct, but let's be honest, I didn't play the old one, so fuck that. Who am I kidding here? My number 3, obvious, but I'll put a bit of a wrinkle. Halo Infinite, but I want a battle royale mode for Halo. I think Halo, like the physics and all that stuff, could actually be an amazing version of battle royale, and I would like to see that.
Yeah, that would be cool, actually.
With all the vehicles and all that shit, like it could be. They are primed for battle royale.
Mm-hmm. I must say, Halo is not on my list. I'm just gonna state it right there, and say that I was not a fan of Halo 5 and what was the other one? What was it? Halo 5 Guardians? Whatever, I don't know. The 343 ones in general haven't really captured what I consider to be Halo. I mean, I'd much rather go play Destiny than any of the Halo games right now. I think Bungie just has a knack for first-person shooters that 343 hasn't really been able to capture. And I think they're missing the essence of what makes a good Halo game, personally. I'm still interested to see, because obviously they have a huge budget behind the game. It's going to be impressive, but I mean, obviously I'll play it because it'll be on Game Pass, but I don't have high hopes for it.
Halo 4 I thought was pretty good. Halo 5 was really rough with the co-op stuff, and they repeated like those same 3 bosses where you have to hit the back or these weak points that were just awful. But the one part where you're going like vertically down a ship or something like that was pretty neat. But overall, I agree, not good.
Yeah, Halo Reach still is kind of the peak, I think.
Definitely.
But all right, number 2, kind of an obvious one. I'm assuming we're going to see this, but I'll throw a little extra onto this. So Psychonauts 2. Been a while since we've seen anything from this, so I definitely want to see a trailer or something from that. But I mean, Microsoft did acquire Double Fine, so I would be excited to see any new Double Fine game for the next gen. So
little surprised it's not number 1. Little surprised.
Well, I got an interesting number 1. You'll see.
Mine's is definitely interesting. It's a troll number 1 for sure.
My number 2 is a little out there. It's probably not going to happen, but I want to see them announce Star Citizen on Series X. Now, this game, obviously, massively successful Kickstarter that I paid for like 10 years ago.
This is your devil inside.
Yes. So I'm probably never going to see this game, but I think if they would announce it on Series X, that'd be pretty cool to see.
That could be cool. I'm not excited, but whatever. My number 2. This really is my number 1. I want a new or remastered Viva Pinata.
I knew it. I knew that was coming.
In my opinion, maybe the best Xbox game ever. I love Viva Pinata, and I want a new one. especially now with Game Pass on PC, it could like be amazing using mouse controls on PC. Give it to me.
Oh, can you imagine a ray traced romance dance? Like, come on, you can't beat that.
Oh my God, my needle is moving.
Well, I was wondering if you were going to say Connectimals, though. It could have been either or. I wasn't sure, but
Connect not supported.
Well, this brings me to my number one, which is I want to see some kind of new hardware innovation peripheral.
What the fuck?
I want to see Illumaroom on Xbox Series X.
Illumaroom. This guy is too.
I mean, a new iteration of Kinect could be interesting. Probably not going to happen. I don't know.
I
if
think they already
HoloLens.
announced Kinect's dead.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. They said it's not supported. Well, I guess maybe they said the old iteration is not supported. I guess that doesn't exclusively mean.
I'm surprised you didn't put this because it's essentially Illumaroom. Get the HoloLens as like part of.
Well, that's what I just said. So if not Kinect, I know HoloLens is also floating around out there. Now, I don't know, has that ever actually been like made available to the public? Like, did it ever get out of like a beta kind of stage or HoloLens?
Yeah, I mean, I know people that have HoloLens dev kits and have integrated them into games in Unity.
Oh yeah, well that's
so I think
cool.
it's 3Gs to get one. Not too bad.
I mean, if they could maybe come out with like a more scaled down version that works on consoles. I mean, that could be something if they wanted to.
I think I remember reading.
Sorry.
I think I remember reading that the HoloLens, they kind of shifted their marketing away from games and towards businesses, like AutoCAD type design, architecture, that kind of stuff, to help like more of like a tool to help 3D modelers and people who do architectural stuff. I don't know if that's true. I'm just kind of pulling that out of nowhere, but I'm pretty sure they kind of pivoted away from games and towards more of the like industrial commercial space.
Yeah, so I guess for people who don't know, HoloLens is more of like an AR headset, so augmented reality. I don't know really how that would work with games other than you wear this headset and you're playing and it would layer an additional HUD or something on top that you could use maybe. But Illumaroom was a thing where you could have your TV as the main sort of focus of your display, and then you would have something projected out onto your walls that like expands the view of what you're seeing, which would be pretty cool, but not going to happen.
My number one is whatever the initiative is working on. So I don't know what that game is. It could be the Perfect Dark game you guys are talking about, but this is the new studio that Microsoft made in, I think it's around LA or something like that. Not the Coalition, a different one. It was around Santa Monica. It was the one, it basically poached all the Sony Santa Monica people, I think. And so I don't know what they're working on. It's been a couple of years at least that they've been working on something. So I imagine they have been ramping up for a Series X launch title, and we haven't heard anything of what they're working on yet. So that's my number one. I think that'll probably be the show closer. They're probably going to have something to really knock people's socks off. Probably open with Halo, close with this thing. That's my guess. That's my prediction.
I think Huck is right on the money here, to be perfectly honest. I like it. Now, my number one trolling announcement is no launch titles for the Xbox One Series X. I want no launch titles whatsoever. And this is for selfish reasons. I don't care if the first one launches 2 weeks after or a month after. I want to use those Shoppers Drug Mart Optimum points to get this next-gen console, and I don't want to have to get it day one. As soon as they say Halo's a launch title, I'm fucked. I got to buy it. Day one, I'm going to buy it. And I don't want to. I want to use my Optimum points so I don't have to buy two at some point. So let's just Microsoft, you already said, now they're changing their tune, that Halo might be a launch title. You said no new games at the launch window, just updating your library, improving it. Let's keep that promise. I like when companies keep their promises.
I don't think they said no launch titles. I think they said no Series X exclusives.
Yeah. So if
so
Halo comes out, it'll be available for Xbox One as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't want. Ew. Yeah, definitely. That's my number one. I don't want a subpar. I don't want them dumbing down Halo Infinite for the old Xbox. Ew, gross. No.
Well, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
get ready.
Probably.
Oh, barf.
So they did just announce this week as well, which I kind of thought they had already said, but they officially said all Xbox One games will be supported and compatible with the Series X, except for Kinect games. So
cool. Really cool.
super cool.
It is cool. I'm just joking. Like that's a good feature to have. Well, we might as well. That only took like 17 minutes, something like that.
Let's juice it. Let's go top 10.
I will
6
say
to 10.
I was gonna put Sunset Overdrive 2 on my list, which I've talked about, but I guess Sony acquired Insomniac, right?
Yeah.
So not gonna happen. There's no way.
Yeah, hopefully you get Sunset Overdrive 1 or 2 for PlayStation. Perfect.
Yeah.
Your number.
I mean, I assume
This is actually a PlayStation thing. You didn't even know it.
I assume Insomniac owns the rights, not Microsoft. But
someone asked them that I think Ted Price in a video I watched a few months ago, and didn't sound like it's possible. But never say never, I guess.
They might have Sony. Who's Insomniac might own the IP rights, but Sony might have the publishing rights. So it's possible that they have to kind of go to Sony first. Or sorry, Microsoft might have the IP.
We all call every game is Sony. That's good. I know.
Yeah.
On your head.
Sorry, yeah. Insomniac IP, Microsoft Publishing.
It was published by Microsoft Game Studios, so I don't think it'll ever happen. But you never know. Okay, so if we're talking about how good Sony is, let's talk about their little announcement video today, which was Jeff Keighley doing a little demo with the Dualsense controller and talking about the Dualsense. I did not watch the full version. I didn't know there was a longer version. I watched like a 3-minute highlight thing and saw the images. I didn't take too much away from it other than he was really trying to sell the haptic triggers, which I'm still not convinced on. But apparently feeling is believing. So I hope they are really cool and justifies the name Dualsense. Like, this better be pretty exceptional if they're changing the name. But what do you guys think? Anything big you took away from this Astro's Playroom demo?
Well, I definitely liked the Astro's Playroom. Like, I don't know, I'm looking forward to playing that. They said it comes pre-installed on all PS5s, so you don't even have to download it.
People are mad about that?
No, he said he likes that. Oh.
No, other people. It wasn't that like... Well, I guess U2 was a little bit more of a big deal.
Yeah.
Automatically download it on your iPhone, or iTunes.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess the question is like, how many of these little features, cool features that they added with this controller are going to become standard and something that all games or a lot of games try to support, and how many of them are just cool little tech things that they show off for the first month and then they die out and nobody cares, right? Like the speaker, they were, obviously that's been done previously, but they seem to be doing a bit more with the speaker built into the controller. There's apparently more to just the haptics and the rumble, like that, if there's wind or something blowing, there's a feeling in your hands of that. Sounds cool, but I don't know that it's...
Maybe they can squeeze a Vankyo projector in there, a Luma room in the controllers. I mean, it's your ultimate fantasy.
I'd be down for that. Then Microsoft has truly lost.
My only takeaway was just controller size was a little bigger than the DualShock, and it looked definitely more like a Xbox One controller. And so I don't know, did you guys see a side by side of Xbox One versus the DualSense, or just the DualShock to the DualSense?
Just DualShock to DualSense.
Yeah, okay, so did I. So I'm not sure how much bigger or smaller it is than a traditional Xbox controller, but they look pretty similar in size now, just from, a rough comparison of my own controllers. So that's kind of a big change for PlayStation players if they're used to that kind of more slim controller. But I mean, that's not really a big deal. I think probably most people have played on an Xbox controller, or they can adapt.
They're really close in size, really close.
Yeah.
I think he did say it was a little bit heavier than the DualShock and had a little more heft, I believe is what he said. I mean, this is the thing, like you're getting a demo video of something that's all about, you got to hold it in your hands to know for yourself. But I'm fine with that. I like the Xbox controller personally. So a little more heft is fine by me.
PlayStation 4, DualShock 4 is my favorite controller of all time. I got little tiny hands. It's perfect. Everything about it is perfect. I'm nervous. Don't change it too much. All right.
One other quick thing we should mention. At the end of the video, they did ask about other colors for the console and the controller. And I'm sad to say they had nothing to announce. It sounded like for launch, white is the only option, Frank.
Well, for launch, for sure. I was prepared for that. Just going to have to buy another one in 2021.
Save up those Optima points.
Now can I say all right?
Go for it.
All right.
Let's move on to what we've been playing.
All right.
I'll go last. I'm going to talk Ghost of Tsushima. Anything you guys want to get into here?
Sure. Well, I guess I could say, so I finished The Last of Us Part 2. Not going to really say anything because hopefully we'll get to that group review.
Well, let's tease this, Sean. I sent you a text after you beat it and told me you beat it. Yeah. And I said something obvious that should have happened in the game, right? Mm-hmm. Based on the revolutionary storytelling. And how right was I? Just say on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most right you could possibly be, how right was I?
Well, you're right, but
How right was I? Give me a number.
I mean, I'll give you like an 8 out of 10 on that would have been cool. But I think
it's at least a 9.
I can't get into why I think like what they were going for, I think could have been amazing and is pretty close to being amazing. Like I do think the storytelling in the game is pretty fantastic overall, but there's something towards the end, particularly the last chapter. I thought they didn't need that. It kind of confused things and I don't know, just character motivation and stuff was not there. So we'll get into that with spoilers at some point, but I did really like it. I guess I did feel like I needed a bit of a palate cleanser. So I picked up Paper Mario. I haven't really had a chance to play it yet. I basically got to the first battle. So I'm hoping I'll be able to talk more about that next week. But
you have actually played it.
I did actually play it, yeah. Yeah. But I have been playing Journey to the Savage Planet, which is on Game Pass.
Did you end up getting a refund?
I did, yeah.
I couldn't remember. Okay, cool. That's cool.
They hooked me up. And this is a fun little game. It's very kind of reminds me of Metroid Prime. Seems like it's kind of inspired by that to some degree. But basically you're an astronaut, I guess. You crash land on a planet and your ship is damaged, and you've got to search through the planet to pick up things to repair your ship. But it's, as with Metroid, there's certain things you have to acquire along the way. One of the first things is the classic double jump. And it has this tone, this very comedic tone that is odd. And I was a fan of it. It kind of like, they have these weird commercials that are on the ship when you're there, and it reminded me of like something from Tim and Eric. And there's this computer that is kind of guiding you along the way, this computer voice that's comedic. I mean, it's kind of in the vein of Portal, I guess. I feel like there's so many games now that have like a AI voice that's kind of sarcastic or whatever. And it's usually, it works, but I'm definitely seeing a lot of it lately. But I'm liking the game. I mean, it's the only thing I kind of would complain about is when you die, you kind of respawn. The idea is they reclone you back on your ship. And so if you're far away from your ship, and you can teleport out to farther locations, but like if you die and you're out somewhere, you got to re-teleport from your ship back to where you were, recover your stuff, and then get to whatever you were doing before. It's a bit cumbersome at times.
Just you saying that makes me one of the things I love of Ghost of Tsushima. Anyway.
Okay. That's about it. I mean, from what I understand, it's a pretty short game, so I'm going to try and plow through this and then maybe look at Ghost of Tsushima.
Big mistake. Ghost of Tsushima. The best game. It might be like just it's going to give Horizon a run for its money. That I can tell you.
Wow.
Oh, that's big. I played more of Last of Us Part 2. I apparently have about 10 hours left still. And one thing I must say is I could sit and just listen to the sound effects from this game, especially in the part I'm at where it's rainy and thunderstorm. It's incredible, the sound design in this game. I actually have played a little bit of NHL 20 as well, with the news that the NHL season may be getting going again. I got that itch. I got my men's league hockey email saying they're starting up maybe in September. So I had the itch, and boy, let me tell you, this game did not scratch the itch. So many frustrating things that just drive me nuts. Oh yeah. Just like my biggest takeaway is that the AI team you're facing seems to always know exactly what to do. They make the most incredible, like, behind the back passes and shit. And your team is the dumbest bunch of AI characters I've ever seen. Like, so many times they run into my goalie and either score on my own net, or the goalie has to smother it when we're trying to break out. They don't know how to pass. They clump together. They take it out. If I pass it back to the guy at the point, they then take it out of the zone and then come back in and go offside. It's just like, what is happening? Like, I never see the computer AI do it. And I don't understand if it's because I'm controlling someone, it's messing with like team AI or something. I don't know. But there's some weird thing.
Situation where you have to level up your guys so that their stats get better? And
well, I am playing the Bia Pro, so I am just playing as one character. I'm playing as a centerman, but like my stats have no impact on like the defense on my team. And I never see, like, when the computer passes it back to their point, to their defenseman in the offensive zone, they never take it out of the zone and then come back in and go offside. Like, there's just things that like the AI opposing team never does that my team always does. And it's just really frustrating. It feels like you're playing two different games or two different, like, so I don't know if it's the skill level I'm on, and that's how they make it harder, by making your team just so stupid that you have to basically carry the entire team. But it's just so frustrating, because if I was able to control all the players, it wouldn't be as bad. I could just, make up for it. But because I'm locked to the centerman, like when my wingers never cover their point into the defensive zone and all they do is rip slap shots and get wide open shots, like I don't know what to do. I don't want to chase around the guys, and that just makes more guys open. It's just just so many frustrating things that I don't understand how this isn't fixed after 30 iterations of NHL. So that game needs a real hard look at the AI and how, like, especially your team AI, because it seems like the opposition team AI is fine. So I don't know why the team AI is so much worse. And yeah, I want to keep playing it because I want hockey so bad, but it's just so frustrating. I play with my kids around and they're starting to say all the bad words I'm saying, which is no good. So I'm gonna have to cut that game off. That's it for me.
Okay, as stated, I started Ghost of Tsushima at midnight last night. Dax and I have a bet as to who will beat it first. And food. Oh yeah. So he's definitely interested in joining to discuss this game, although he started every other PlayStation exclusive and never finishes it. That's why I bet him. So he says he's loving this, but we'll see. He gets distracted pretty easily. But some initial thoughts. Looks incredible. I mean, the texture detail is, I mean, in the environment isn't that great, but the colors are great. That doesn't bother me at all. The character detail is fantastic. But all of that kind of leads to one thing that I'm gushing over that I didn't see too much talk of in brief synopses of reviews. But to me, it's what makes open world games potentially more fun and has me even more excited for the PlayStation 5. Fast travel to anywhere, and the load times on fast travel are ridiculous. It's like 5 seconds. I think I saw something that they slowed down or kept their loading screen up longer so that people could actually had time to read the tips when they fast travel. It is so fast. It's amazing. And I think what they're doing is playing a lot with camera position and how much stuff is on screen at the fast travel locations. So that I think they're kind of loading stuff after the fact, or they'll start you at a high point with the camera pointing up to the sky and then like loading stuff as you're basically already in that section, which, I mean, it is a game changer for open world games and wanting, I love it. I know it's not like a huge gameplay thing, but I've never seen a game load this fast for fast travel. It's ridiculous. But overall, I just love the fucking vibe of this game. As you know, you were saying, AI companions that are snarky, Last of Us, even though I love the game, but the swearing, the violence, all that stuff, like it just feels like everything has so much attitude. This game almost has no attitude. And the way they build this vibe, when you go into a hot bath, to increase your health in a hot spring, which is kind of in Neo. That's a whole nother thing. How Neo, Sekiro in this game are all kind of reusing the same ideas in different ways or borrowing from each other. You reflect on something, and it gives you the choice. Like reflect on your uncle, your mother, some aspect of the game, and it's amazing. It's like really serene at moments, and then intense at other times. And you do haikus. You like pick your own haiku at these certain positions. It's so good. And I think that stuff and these kind of title cards for each of the missions that are just like static cameras in the game that are very beautiful. Feel inspired a bit by the cinema mode or cinematic mode in Red Dead 2, but I think it's using it in a much more interesting way so far. But another thing with the vibe is the music. Oh my God. Like the intense versus exploration music. The music is amazing so far. Like really, really good. And using like certain Japanese instruments to great effect. Oh man, I love that stuff. Combat's really good. I'm still, have lingering um, habits with other games I've been playing recently, so I can't fully comment on combat yet because I'm still getting used to this new version. But I love having a bow and using all that stuff. It's borrowing a lot from a lot of other games, which Sony games always do. But I think the overall package is very, very good.
So how is it?
Not technical marvel that Last of Us 2 is, but more fun for me. Like I'm enjoying playing it more than I was The Last of Us 2.
How does the combat compare, like Neo Sekiro versus Horizon?
Okay. I don't know how. It's been a while since I played Horizon. Horizon to me was more about using gadgets in combination in interesting ways and targeting parts on enemies in interesting ways. So I don't know if there's much of a comparison to Horizon. I could definitely do Sekiro and Neo. It's kind of an exact hybrid of the two, where L1 is block, which is Sekiro, but the face buttons are attack, which is Neo, and maybe block was L1 on Neo. I don't remember. It's been a while, but it's a little more, it's right in between. It's not as calculated. Like it's not one-on-one necessarily. You're doing a lot of like big group fights in this game. So that's the major difference. But I love not having to lock on to enemies. I'm getting really sick of locking on to enemies and managing which enemy I'm locked onto. And this is like you just aim to the enemy you want to attack and you can do different stuff there. It's definitely borrowed like visual cues from Sekiro for parrying and other things, but yeah, it's fantastic. I am loving it.
Is there any similarities to the combat for like from Assassin's Creed games?
It's
where you kind of time
similar to
dodging.
Assassin's Creed. You're definitely timing parries and stuff like that, but there's lots of stuff to unlock, like in terms of abilities and skills. So, and there's the showdown? No, what's the mechanic called? I can't remember. Where you like challenge someone at the beginning. This is embarrassing. I'm sweating a little bit. But that's fun. I like that. They're starting to finally add more wrinkles. I thought it might be too simplistic as the game continues, but so far they're adding little changes to it where enemies fake attacks and stuff like that. So we'll see where that goes. I know a lot of the criticisms from major publications that I've seen relate to mission design, and comparing it to open world games from 5 years ago seems to be a thing. And I get that. A lot of the missions I've done seem to be relating to following people or tracking people and following trails or footprints, which I will admit is not the most fun thing. But thankfully, I'm not doing it for too long. Like it's not like huge sections of following someone. They're small enough that it's not too boring and just a means to an end almost. But that would be my one thing I kind of agree with the criticisms on, but it's not to that much of a detriment to me. But yeah, just loving this game. Menus are so good. Oh my God.
And you're not playing this in black and white, right?
Kurosawa mode, Sean?
Yeah, get on it.
I'm not playing Kurosawa mode. The colors are too nice. It's too pretty. I can't go to that. I mean, I might experiment with it a bit, but for now, just getting used to the colors of this world.
Do we know what the play time on this game is?
40 to 60 hours, I think.
40 to 60, eh?
For a platinum.
Okay.
Story, I think I've heard it's 30, but I don't know for sure. But it's amazing. It's so fucking good.
Cool. Well, I am looking forward to playing it.
Sucker Punch rules.
Seems weird. Like just that it came out so, like, I mean, we already kind of said this, but that it came out so soon after The Last of Us Part 2. But I guess you don't want it too close to the next gen either.
Oh, it'll be on next gen. Don't you worry. When you're, like, the loading times are going to be a millisecond. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm going to blink. Although I will say that in the Astrobot demo, that was the one thing I took away. They traveled to a new zone in that, and the load took a lot longer than I was expecting these revolutionary load times to be.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch
especially
that
for a
again.
game like that.
It's like, what? I thought it was supposed to be like instantaneous. Cerny, what the fuck am I looking at?
Interesting.
So that slipped under the radar.
Well, you know, it's still early, Frank. They're still optimizing.
Absolutely. Well, that's all I've got. Anyone else have anything they want to add?
Nope.
No, I think that's it.
Again, check us out on youtube.com/Game Junk Podcast. Or
Nope.
Just Game
Game
Junk.
Junk. Yeah,
Just
Game Junk.
Game Junk. I was making some crazy faces at shit that was going on that you like does not translate in audio. So you're gonna check that out. Sean, rolling my eyes many times, bud.
I was just going to mention, so the Facebook and Twitter accounts, I usually I have the Facebook auto posting to Twitter. The thing I was using for it from IFTTT seems to be busted. It just keeps posting like a file not found for all the images. So if anyone's got any good ways to auto post from Facebook to Twitter, let me know.
Get on it. Let Sean know.
There used to be like an add-on within Facebook for Twitter, and they got rid of it, I think. So it seems like they don't want people doing that anymore.
Well, thank you for keeping those news items up to date and getting it out there. I do appreciate it, Sean, even though.
Yeah, no problem.
Often. Thank you. All right. And that does it for another episode. We'll be back next week with a huge video discussion.
Is the Xbox Summer Game Fest with the demos, is that also next week?
I don't know.
Yeah. It starts on the 21st.
Ooh.
Oh,
We're going to have to try out some games.
Absolutely no chance.
Fortunately, I'm away until Friday, so I don't think that's going to happen for me.
We'll see when we end up recording next week. It could be slightly delayed. So just relax if you don't see it on Friday. It's coming.
Absolutely.
Sean's going on vacation. He's going to be out of control.
Yep.
He'll be so mad. He'll be snapping. He's going to have to put something together.
You'll have to watch the video version to see how mad he is, though.
Oh, yeah.
You'll only realize how mad he is in the video version.
He's going to lose. It's going to be pretty. Okay. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Signature sign off complete.
That's beautiful.